Lately, something about you has been catching people's attention in a way they cannot fully explain. It is not only because of your face. It is not only because of your style. It is not even because of the words you speak. It is because of the feeling people experience before you say anything at all. It is the quiet change in the atmosphere when you enter a room. It is the brief pause that happens when someone looks at you for a second longer than they expected. It is subtle, yet impossible to ignore. Stay with me, because this matters more than you realize. What is changing in your life right now goes much deeper than your appearance. The people around you are sensing this shift before they are able to understand it. Some of them are confused because you seem gentle and powerful at the same time. Others notice that your eyes carry both warmth and wisdom together. Some cannot explain why your presence feels peaceful, yet impossible to forget. That is because people are no longer noticing you the way they used to. They are beginning to feel you. There is a huge difference between being seen and being felt. Anyone can be noticed for a moment. Very few people leave a feeling behind after they walk away. You did not become this version of yourself because life was easy. You did not reach this place through comfort or luck. Every part of your presence was shaped by quiet struggles, private healing, lonely nights, and moments when nobody truly understood how much weight you were carrying. Those experiences changed you from the inside, and now that inner change is beginning to appear on the outside. It is not loud. It does not demand attention. It simply carries a quiet strength that people cannot ignore. Listen carefully, because by the end of this you may finally understand why people have been responding to you differently. You may understand why certain faces keep appearing in your thoughts. You may understand why your energy is beginning to leave an impression that goes far beyond physical appearance. There are seasons in life when change is easy for everyone to see. People notice the breakup, the new job, the move to another place, the loss, the success, or the obvious turning point. Those moments are visible. They become stories that everyone can talk about. But there are other seasons that are much quieter. They are the seasons where the greatest changes happen beneath ordinary days. No applause follows them. No audience witnesses them. Nobody truly sees what is happening inside your heart while you continue smiling through everyday life. That is the season you walked through. Somewhere between disappointment and healing, between wanting to protect yourself and choosing to stay kind, between feeling exhausted and deciding to keep moving forward anyway. Something inside you slowly matured. It happened quietly. It happened deeply. It happened without you even realizing how much you were changing. That is why people now experience something different when they are around you. Some may notice your smile first, but what stays with them is the peace behind it. Others may admire your appearance, but what truly captures their attention is the calmness that surrounds you. It feels honest. It feels natural. In a world where so much feels forced, exaggerated, and carefully performed, genuine peace stands out immediately. Realness has become rare, and rare things always leave a stronger impression. Keep listening, because this next part explains even more. The glow people see in you today did not come from having a perfect life. It came from surviving difficult moments without allowing bitterness to take over your heart. It came from choosing kindness after disappointment. It came from remaining open after life gave you countless reasons to close yourself off. That kind of healing changes much more than your personality. It changes your entire presence. It changes the way you listen without interrupting. It changes the way you pause before answering. It changes the way you react with understanding instead of anger. It changes the way you make other people feel accepted without even trying. Even people who rarely think about emotions can sense this difference, although they cannot always explain why. This is one reason why people have been surprised by you lately. There are moments when you seem youthful, curious, warm, and full of quiet excitement. Then there are other moments when you seem deeply grounded, thoughtful, and incredibly wise. Both sides exist together. That combination stays in people's minds because they are not used to seeing it. Most people expect simple categories. They believe someone is either strong or gentle, either playful or mature, either emotional or calm. But you have grown beyond simple labels. You carry several different qualities together, and that makes your presence difficult to forget. There is probably someone, maybe even more than one person, who noticed this during an ordinary conversation. You were not trying to impress anyone. You may have been distracted. You may have been speaking casually without thinking much about it. Yet something about your energy reached them in a way they could not ignore. Long after that conversation ended, they kept thinking about it. Not because you performed perfectly, not because you demanded attention, not because you tried to stand out. They remembered you because they felt emotionally safe around you. That feeling has become incredibly rare. Many people spend years meeting interesting individuals, attractive faces, and exciting personalities. Yet they leave those encounters feeling completely empty. Then one day they meet someone whose presence feels steady, honest, peaceful, and emotionally safe. Suddenly they find themselves replaying that meeting over and over without understanding why. That is what is beginning to happen around you. People are no longer remembering only your appearance. They are remembering how they felt when they were with you. Once that begins, your impact becomes much deeper than simple attraction. It becomes emotional. It becomes lasting. Stay with me because there is an even deeper reason why this season feels different. The people who are often the most surprised by your growth are the ones who knew an earlier version of you. They remember the version that questioned itself more often, the version that searched for reassurance outside instead of within, the version that sometimes doubted its own value. They expected to meet that same person again. Instead, they met someone whose confidence no longer needs constant proof, someone whose peace does not depend on everyone's approval, someone who no longer feels the need to explain their worth every moment. That kind of change can shake people more than they are willing to admit. When they look at you now, they realize something important. Time did not take away your light. It refined it. Life did not erase your beauty. It gave it greater depth. That realization stays with people long after the moment ends. There are conversations happening about you that you may never hear. Honest conversations, quiet conversations, unexpected conversations where people admit how different your energy feels now. They describe you as peaceful. They describe you as comforting. They describe you as memorable in ways they struggle to explain. Not because you became louder, because you became clearer. Peace has become something many people are searching for without realizing it. Somehow, your presence has started carrying that peace naturally. Some people smile when your name comes up in conversation, and they cannot explain the reason. Others hear your name, and something changes in their expression before they can hide it. Some return to old photographs, old messages, or old memories, only to notice how much you have grown. The greatest surprise is not that you became a different person. It is that you became more completely yourself. Watching someone become more authentic is a powerful experience. For those who once underestimated you, it can also be deeply emotional. They begin to realize they misunderstood your journey. They saw only the surface, while something much greater was quietly developing beneath it. There is another reason people's reactions have become stronger lately. Your presence is beginning to encourage reflection inside other people. When someone spends time with you now, they are not only noticing you, they are also becoming more aware of themselves. Your calmness quietly reveals their inner chaos. Your honesty reminds them of the masks they have been wearing. Your kindness exposes the emotional walls they built to protect themselves. Not everyone enjoys facing those truths. Some people feel inspired. Some become uncomfortable. Some become emotional without understanding why. The reason is simple. When someone carries genuine peace after surviving difficult seasons, they naturally remind others of everything they have been avoiding within themselves. That is why a simple glance from you can feel more meaningful than it once did. That is why a short conversation can stay in someone's thoughts for the rest of the day. That is why some people suddenly become quiet around you, while others begin sharing personal parts of their lives much sooner than expected. Without realizing it, you are creating emotional impact. The most interesting part is that the less you try to be noticed, the more unforgettable you become. Think about that for a moment. The version of you that constantly worried about being enough is slowly disappearing. In its place, something stronger is quietly growing. Something stable, something peaceful. Something that no longer depends on constant approval to feel valuable. You will still have moments of uncertainty because you are human. Everyone does. But your heart no longer depends on other people's opinions the way it once did. People can sense that freedom. They may never explain it clearly. They may never fully understand why they feel different around you, but they notice it immediately. There is probably one person who recognized this change before anyone else. They noticed the way you move through conversations without rushing. They noticed that you no longer feel pressured to impress anyone. They noticed that your silence now feels comfortable instead of awkward. They noticed the softness in your face when you truly listen. They noticed that your patience has replaced the need to prove yourself. Somewhere during one completely ordinary moment, something shifted inside them. They realized you had become magnetic without becoming louder. That realization stayed with them. It followed them home after the conversation ended. It appeared again while they were working. It returned while they were driving. It came back during quiet moments when they were supposed to be thinking about something completely different. What unsettled them was not simple attraction. It was recognition. Something about your energy touched a part of them that had been asleep for a long time. Maybe it reminded them of peace. Maybe it reminded them of hope. Maybe it reminded them that emotional safety still exists. Maybe it reminded them that something genuine is still possible. For many people, that realization is frightening. They have become so familiar with confusion, emotional games, mixed signals, and exhausting relationships that calmness feels unfamiliar. Healing feels unfamiliar. Authenticity feels unfamiliar. When someone has spent years surrounded by performance, genuine presence can almost seem unbelievable. Even so, they cannot stop thinking about you. Their mind keeps returning to a smile you shared, a sentence you spoke without thinking, a glance that lasted only a few seconds. To everyone else, it looked like an ordinary moment that would soon be forgotten. But to them, it was something completely different. It became a memory they continue carrying with them. It left an impression that appearance alone could never create. And that is the quiet transformation taking place in your life right now. You are no longer leaving people with only an image of who you are. You are leaving them with a feeling they cannot easily replace. Long after your words have faded, long after the conversation has ended, and long after they have returned to their daily routines, something about your presence continues to echo in their heart. That is not because you tried harder. It is because you finally became someone whose peace speaks louder than effort ever could. And that kind of presence is something people remember for a very long time. There is another change taking place that many people never expect. As your inner peace becomes stronger, your need to explain yourself becomes smaller. You no longer feel the urge to convince everyone that your heart is good. You no longer waste your energy trying to prove your intentions to people who have already decided what they want to believe. That quiet confidence is creating a new chapter in your life. The people who truly belong in your journey are beginning to recognize something that cannot be forced or copied. They notice that your words match your actions. They notice that you stay calm even when life becomes uncertain. They notice that you do not rush to compete or compare yourself with others. Instead, you focus on becoming a better version of yourself every single day. That kind of growth leaves a lasting impression. It is not loud, but it is impossible to ignore forever. Some people may still misunderstand you. They may think your silence means weakness. They may mistake your patience for hesitation. They may believe your kindness means you can easily be taken for granted. But time has a way of revealing the truth. Eventually, they begin to see that your silence comes from wisdom. Your patience comes from strength. Your kindness comes from a heart that refused to become bitter after everything it experienced. That realization changes how people respond to you. There may be someone who has been watching from a distance for much longer than you realize. They have seen your difficult moments. They have noticed the way you handled disappointment without creating drama. They have watched you continue moving forward even when nobody was cheering for you. They may never have admitted it before, but your quiet determination has stayed in their mind. Now they find themselves thinking about you more often. They remember conversations that seemed ordinary at the time. They remember the encouragement you offered without expecting anything in return. They remember the calm feeling they experienced whenever they were around you. At first, they dismissed those memories as small moments. Now they understand those moments meant much more than they realized. This is one of the surprising things about genuine character. It often becomes more valuable with time. People may forget expensive gifts. They may forget impressive speeches. They may even forget achievements that once seemed important. But they rarely forget someone who made them feel accepted, understood, and safe. Those memories stay with the heart long after everything else begins to fade. Your presence has started creating those kinds of memories. Without trying, you have become someone people remember when they need hope. They remember your steady voice. They remember your ability to listen without judging. They remember that being around you felt peaceful instead of exhausting. Not everyone will tell you this directly. Some people will simply begin reaching out again. Others may suddenly become curious about your life after months or even years of silence. A few may apologize for how they treated you. Others may never say the words out loud, but their actions will quietly reveal that they see you differently now. Do not be surprised when these moments arrive. Life has a way of bringing clarity when the timing is right. What once felt confusing slowly begins to make sense. You realize that every challenge taught you something important. Every disappointment helped you grow stronger. Every delay gave you the chance to become wiser than you would have been otherwise. Looking back, you may even recognize that some closed doors protected you from situations that would have limited your future. At the time, those endings felt painful. Now they begin to look like hidden blessings. That does not mean the journey was easy. There were nights when you questioned yourself. There were mornings when simply getting out of bed required more courage than anyone around you could see. There were moments when you wondered if your efforts would ever make a difference. Still, you continued. That quiet decision to keep moving became one of the most important choices you ever made. Every step forward, no matter how small, was preparing you for this season. Now your confidence is no longer based on perfect circumstances. It is built on experience. You know what it feels like to fall and stand back up again. You know what it feels like to lose something important and still find a reason to smile. You know what it feels like to face uncertainty without giving up. Those experiences cannot be purchased. They cannot be borrowed from someone else. They become part of who you are. People notice that kind of strength, even if they cannot explain why. Sometimes they simply describe you as different. Sometimes they say there is something calming about your energy. Sometimes they admit they feel comfortable sharing things with you that they have never shared with anyone else. The reason is simple. Your heart has learned compassion through experience. Instead of judging people quickly, you understand that everyone is carrying battles that are not always visible. Because of that, your kindness feels genuine rather than forced. Your encouragement feels sincere instead of rehearsed. Your support feels real because it comes from a place of understanding. That is becoming one of your greatest gifts. There is also a lesson waiting for you in this next chapter. Not everyone who notices your growth deserves full access to your life. Some people will admire your peace while still carrying habits that disturb it. Some people will appreciate your kindness without learning how to respect it. Some people will enjoy your light while refusing to protect it. This is where wisdom becomes just as important as compassion. You can care about people without sacrificing your own well-being. You can forgive someone without returning to unhealthy patterns. You can wish others the best while continuing to move in a different direction. Those choices do not make you selfish. They show that you have learned the value of healthy boundaries. As you continue growing, your circle may become smaller, but it will also become stronger. The conversations you have will become more meaningful. The friendships you build will become more honest. The opportunities that come into your life will begin to match the person you have become instead of the person you used to be. That is how real transformation works. It changes not only how you see yourself, but also the kind of people and experiences you naturally attract. Very soon, you may notice another unexpected shift. Instead of chasing answers, answers begin finding you. Instead of forcing relationships, the right connections develop naturally. Instead of feeling lost, you begin recognizing signs that you are exactly where you need to be. There is peace in that realization. It reminds you that life is not always about moving faster. Sometimes it is about becoming ready. Ready to receive opportunities that once would have overwhelmed you. Ready to appreciate people who truly value your presence. Ready to trust yourself in ways you never could before. When that happens, something beautiful begins to unfold. You stop measuring your worth by how many people approve of you. You stop comparing your journey with someone else's timeline. You stop believing that every delay is a failure. Instead, you begin seeing each season as part of a much larger story. And when you understand that, your heart becomes lighter. You smile more easily. You worry a little less. You become more thankful for ordinary moments that once passed unnoticed. That quiet gratitude changes everything. It fills your days with a sense of purpose that cannot be created through success alone. People notice that feeling whenever they spend time with you. They leave your presence carrying a little more hope than they had before. They may never fully explain why. They simply know that something about you reminds them that healing is possible. That tomorrow can be brighter than yesterday. That strength and gentleness can exist together. And perhaps that is the greatest gift your journey has given you. You are no longer trying to become someone else. You are finally becoming the person you were always meant to be. That quiet transformation is still unfolding. The best part of your story has not already happened. It is slowly approaching, one day at a time. Every lesson has prepared you for it. Every challenge has strengthened you for it. Every act of patience has brought you one step closer to it. Trust the process. Keep walking forward. Your future is not asking you to become perfect. It is simply asking you to continue becoming true to yourself, because that truth will open doors that force alone never could.